Hi everyone, welcome back to the Dominion tutorial video series. This is Adam Horton, and in this video we're going to enter into the world of strategy. Now, the deck I've really been pushing you to think about building so far is largely based on money. And there's a term for decks that are based on money. Usually they call it big money or some kind of big money variant. And I want to take this video to explain the ways that big money can be improved upon by using the kingdom cards that are available. Now, the good news is the money cards will always be available to you, and there are a lot of cards that on their own help out a big money strategy a lot. So usually you can be competitive in a game by playing big money and finding some card that enables big money to perform better. So how do we identify those cards that enable big money to perform better, or we call them big money enablers? Well, how do you get more money in a turn? The first way is to buy better money cards, and you can buy silvers and buy golds. That is a linchpin of a big money strategy. You want to buy a lot of silvers. Silver's a really good card, by the way. And you want to buy golds when you can, and then you want to buy provinces. That's the bread and butter of what we're doing. But there are a couple other ways we can get more money in a hand. For instance, most of our hands start with 5 cards. 5 cards give you a certain amount of money. But if we were able to draw more cards, well then we would have more money. Remember how much we liked the Smithy. If you play a Smithy, you end up with a hand of 7 cards. 7 cards is more likely to produce more money than 5 cards. So, Smithy is a canonical big money enabler. It's pretty simple. It doesn't require any additional support from other kingdom cards. You can just buy one Smithy, just go crazy with the money cards, and you're going to do pretty good that game. However, Smithy's not the only card that can get you to increase your hand size. Let's take a look at this guy, Laboratory. Plus 2 cards, plus 1 action. Now, he doesn't give you nearly as many cards as a Smithy. He only gives you 2. And besides, this guy costs 5. What's up with that? Smithy was only 4. Well, this action, turns out it's a pretty big deal. Remember in that video where we bought a bunch of Smithies and then we had a bunch of dead cards in our hand? Well, with a Laboratory, it always replaces the action that it takes to play it. So, if I have a deck of just a bunch of money cards, I can add as many labs as I want to it. And it doesn't matter if they collide. In fact, it's good if they collide. The more labs I play, the more cards I'm going to end up with, and I don't have to worry about, oh, well, am I going to draw something dead? Or am I going to end up with 2 Smithies in my hand and I can only play 1? Lab doesn't give you that problem. So, Lab is also a pretty good big money enabler. Now, these cards are good for other things, but I want you to think about them in the context of that. Now, if you've got $6, you're probably buying a gold, so you might want to only buy Lab on 5, but it's still something to think about. It does enable big money in that way. Now, you may have noticed 2 cards together, Smithy and Village, and they sort of go well together. Village gives you extra actions. You can use those extra actions to play Smithy and draw more cards. Maybe you'll draw more Villages. Maybe you'll draw more Smithies. And I know you have these wonderful dreams of drawing your entire deck after playing 5 Villages and 4 Smithies, and then you'll have $16 and you'll buy 2 provinces with the help of some plus buy card that you're going to have to pick up. Now, that's great, and let me tell you, Village Smithy, that's a thing. And it's actually a good thing. You can totally draw your deck doing it. And more power to you. That's a good thing to draw your deck, because then you've got all your money cards. But I want to caution you something. Dominion is about finding combos. Village Smithy is one of many combos you'll find. And if you're going to run for this kind of a deck, it's actually pretty complex to put together the right way. There are a lot of nuances to how many of each you get, the other components you're going to need to get from other kingdom cards in order to make it viable. Because if I spend 10 turns buying Villages and Smithies and my opponent spends 10 turns buying silver and gold, my opponent has a big lead. and I have to make up for that big lead by having super awesome turns where I draw my deck. So drawing more cards, that's one way to get more money in your hand. And another way was to buy better money cards. Well, there's a third way we can think about to get more money in our hands. And that is getting rid of the bad cards. Now, don't tell anyone I told you this, but these 10 cards you start with, they're all really bad cards. The estates, they don't give you any money. And the coppers, it's just one. I mean, you're going to need a lot more than just copper to get up to province. So if there's a way to get rid of these guys, we want to do it. I promise you, that 1 point sacrifice is way super duper worth the tempo boost you're going to get. If you can get just one more province, 6 is more than 1. I may not be good at counting, but I know that much. So, let's look at some cards that can get rid of these coppers and estates and replace them with better cards. Cards that generate lots of money. Let's take a look at Moneylender. He says trash a copper from your hand. If you do, plus $3. Pretty simple benefit. So here's my hand. I play a Moneylender. Copper goes in the trash. I get $3 to spend this turn. The copper's out of my deck. It wasn't a very good card to begin with. And I get a benefit for just this turn because I've played the Moneylender and given him what he wants. So now I've got $4 to spend. Okay, that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do, instead of getting a dollar benefit on this turn, let's try out the mine. Mine says trash a treasure card from your hand, gain a treasure card costing up to $3 more, and put it in your hand. Now the coppers cost 0, the silver's 3, and the gold 6. So what the mine really is telling you is upgrade your treasure card to the next higher one. Here's an example. Play a mine, I'll trash a copper. Copper costs 0, I can gain a treasure card costing up to 3. Hey, silver costs 3, and mine says put it in your hand. So you get the immediate benefit of having the better treasure card in your hand, but also the copper's gone and I've replaced it with a better card. Remember I told you silver was a good card? Still a good card. So that's another thing we can do to improve a money deck. Also, check this card out. Remodel. It says trash a card from your hand, gain a card costing up to $2 more than the trash card. Now we haven't done anything about these estates. That's what the remodel's for. I can play the remodel, and let's say I trash this estate. The estate costs 2, so I can gain a card costing up to 2 more. I can gain a card costing up to 4. Well, if you really want to get frisky, you might get another remodel. But if you were going for a big money strategy, silver only costs 3, so it's well within the boundaries of remodel. Now I've gotten a card that produces $0 out of my deck, and I've put in a card that produced $2, which was a good card, by the way. So remodel's pretty nice. And you may say, but Adam, I only have 3 estates in my starting deck. What do I do if my remodel runs out of estates to hit? Well, never fear, my friend. We're friends now, right? Yeah, never fear, my friend. Because remodel has another target. Gold costs 6, province costs 8. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Remodel, trash a gold, gain a province. So you don't always have to buy the province, huh? Well, that's pretty nice. So, a lot of these cards can get bad cards out of your deck, and they can put good cards into your deck. And when it comes to money, that's helpful. Granted, every single one of these cards has a use beyond a money deck. But if you think about it in the context of a money deck, you're going to do pretty well. So, as far as the Dominion 101 section of this video tutorial, this is the last video in it. And now that you've got a good idea for how the mechanics of Dominion work, you've got a way to play the game even if you don't own a physical copy, and also you have a little bit of a primer on strategy, at least as it pertains to a big money deck. What really would be beneficial is if you would play a few games of Dominion. You want to get to have a good feel of the pace of a money deck and realize that a money deck is going to be available in every game you play and can usually be enhanced by one of these cards. If you want to try something frisky, well, if the frisky thing you want to try is not really that great, then your opponent who's playing ideally might just go for the money strategy and beat you. This is an important concept of Dominion. The money strategy is always available, and it's sort of a baseline to what you want to compare everything else you do in Dominion against. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll get a chance to play a couple of games. And I hope to see you back for Dominion 102, which will be the next series of videos where we're really going to dive into strategy, how to put together decks, and how to assess kingdoms. Thanks for watching.